Now, what's the real reason you might be struggling with life more than you need to? Gotcha, I said out loud to a hidden unconscious program I uncovered recently that was creating some unnecessary but familiar struggles. Now that I found it, I could begin to help that program evolve. It's just out of date and needed an upgrade. Now, I wonder if this will resonate with you and help you do something similar. Welcome, I'm Paul Shepherd, your holistic mindset coach, and thank you for joining me on the Mindset Change podcast, where you'll be inspired and learn how to grow and transform your mindset so you can create a life you truly want to live. Now, this is a mindset espresso shot of an episode. It's short, it's sweet, but could be very powerful and cause a wonderful mindset shift. Now, recently, due to some journaling, I was looking back at the past 7 months and the progress I'd been making in my life. And I would never have been able to predict back in January where I am now, because so much for me has actually changed. But progress is often held back by a lack of honesty. And I had to be honest with myself, I wasn't doing as well as I could. Why? Well, I began to notice that there had been some resistance, slow progress, and struggle with a part of my work. So with some curiosity, I began to explore a little deeper into what was going on. And just to be clear, this is only a small part of my work, but nonetheless, it was worth investigating. So I created a list of tasks that I could be doing that would enhance my career and my quality of life to help me reach my goals. Now, doing these would make a massive difference to my life. And yet, there are some really important ones still waiting on that list to be done. This is like a kink in my hose pipe, which was asking to be straightened out to allow the water to flow. But I had to notice the kink first. Now, common sense says just get these things done. But what I noticed was that I was holding back. Now, why was I holding back? Was it procrastinating? Was it my dark side? I've also been looking at my higher deserve level from reading the wonderful book by Gary Cady on the subject called Raise Your Healthy Deserve Level. Was I receiving a message that my deserve level was a little too low in this area? Now, I'm hoping Gary will come onto the show. We've been talking recently and he has agreed, so we'll arrange a date at some point soon. But I would really go and get the book anyway. It's available on Kindle. Don't be put off by the fact that he wrote it for dentists, as that's his niche, but it will apply to you as it's life-transforming stuff. So have I got a low deserve level in this area? Is there a struggle? Is it procrastination? Is it my dark side? Well, it would be easy to be embarrassed as a mindset coach, where people might think, well, he should have his shit together by now, surely. Well, that would be a fixed mindset, just to point out, because having a growth mindset in life looks at life from the perspective that we all have rooms for improvement, which is essential for personal development and moving forward to avoid stagnating. So no one is perfect. No coach has got all their shit together, just to point that out and put that one to bed. So I journaled on it and I was reflecting on it. I love journaling for this very reason. And I had that light bulb moment, like, yes, that's what's happening. Now, if you know my story, if you've listened to my podcast from the beginning, or if you're not sure about what's been happening to me, I have got a history where there has been a lot of struggle. So I had an interesting relationship with my parents, to say the least, my brother. I was bullied by the kids in the street. I had a terrible relationship with myself and other people around me, and an anxiety disorder to boot. So there was a lot going on. So for decades of my life, struggle was normal for me. I really didn't know a life that was going to be any different. This was my reality. Now think about the struggles you have in your life. Have a think about what you struggle with the most. I'm wondering if, like me, your struggles are such a familiar existence that finding peace, happiness, and success can feel a little too alien in places, so you naturally drift back to a familiar life of struggle. That was my aha moment. I began to realize that struggle was my reality. And whilst I'd done a lot of work to move beyond that, there was still a part of me still keeping an element of familiarity in my life because it had been there for decades. Are you doing the same too? Now, the thing is, which adds a little bit more complexity to this, was while struggling was hard on me, it also came with some benefits. Struggling, I felt, made me self-aware, so self-aware that I would become hyper alert to what was going on around me, and it gave me a sense of control over a future that didn't exist, a sense of control over situations around me that I couldn't control. A sense of control was, of course, totally false, but it gave me a sense of comfort. Struggling created projections of what could go wrong in the future so that I would try to avoid it. There's that false sense of control again. I also felt accomplished when I beat a struggle. The drama of a struggle was also very exciting, as I was somehow drawn to situations and people where there would be drama and struggles. I then could get more attention based on what was happening to me. I would embellish them to make things even sound more dramatic. As finally, I was getting some attention, which maybe I never got so much in the past before. I could also play the role of the victim and get attention with a poor me attitude at times. Look how hard I have it. Look at all these terrible things that are happening to me. I could easily go into persecution and rescuer mode too, as I got involved in the struggle as depicted by Stephen Cartman's infamous drama triangle. If you don't know much about it, do look it up, because you could see yourself on that drama triangle right now and think, what the heck am I doing? I need to get off. I've also historically used the struggle mostly to distract myself from peace, success, and happiness in life because they were unknowns, unfamiliar, as my main experience of life was one of struggle. So distracting myself was a way of avoiding an uncertain future. Are you unconsciously creating struggles in your life that have an ulterior motive, that benefit you in some way? And if you were to bring them to light, what would you like to do instead? Now, the reality is, me and you are safe. We don't have to struggle anymore. We don't have to repeat the past just because it's familiar. And doing work with a coach, therapist, bring it to light in a journal, begins to change the program. Bringing it to light creates options on what you can begin to do differently next. But it can take some work. And if you would like to work with a coach like myself, where we would do some deep transformational coaching to get to the root of where your struggles are coming from and start helping you create a life you truly want to live, not the one you are conforming to on autopilot, which might not be in your best interest. Now, I know that will have resonated with a lot of you, realizing that you're creating struggles simply because that's what you're used to. Can be mind-blowing, but create a powerful mindset shift when you begin to do something different with it. I want to say thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you found it useful, please share it with anyone you think would benefit. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Please leave a review, because it is the lifeblood of the show and it helps people find me. I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode. Please have an amazing day. If you or anyone you know is struggling with anxiety or stress, then I would really recommend New Mind Wellness's Stress Support Formula supplements. As anyone knows, buying supplements can be costly, but this is brilliant because everything is in one tiny sachet. All your vitamins, minerals, adaptogens, ancient herbs and flower remedies, and the top essentials I recommend to my clients, including ashwagandha, magnesium glycinate, and L-theanine. There's even a new probiotic version too. If you'd like to give them a try, you can get 20% discount off of your order by using the code PAUL20 in the checkout box. The link is in my show notes.